In this corner, the desiccated DC Direct DCeased Flash. And in this corner, the Walmart exclusive DC Multiverse Gold Label Dark Flash. Which Spooky Speedster is the best fit for your display? Place your bets. It's time for a Halloween Versus. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. The 5 points I articulate are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and for the entire month of October, we're going to have some very special Halloween reviews. Starting off with the packaging, and both figures come in window boxes. Each one features a prominent DC logo. The Multiverse one, however, has a gold label which lets you know it's going to be hard to track down. DCeased logo up here, and a window up here. DC Multiverse has the name and logo on the side. Well, you can see this one's from Speed Metal. DC Essentials, however, has a product shot and a number. Both figures have very similar legal on the bottom. For those who want it, here's the barcode for DCeased, and here's a barcode for Dark Flash. Flipping them around, the backs have been approached pretty differently as well. On the back, we can see the 3 different variants of this figure, which we'll be talking about during playability. And then looking down, we can see even more swarming behind them. DCeased product shot is admittedly a lot more boring, but it does have some nice write-ups on the figure and the product line, and also lets you know what other figures are available. As much as I like the DC Multiverse box, they all pretty much look the same, whereas the colors, artwork, and write-up make this one feel just a bit more character specific. For packaging, this round goes to DCeased. Moving on to presentation, and both figures stand at 7-ish inches, with Dark Flash being slightly taller. First things first, we should probably establish who these are. This is Barry Allen as a zombie inspired by the DC storyline. This, however, is not the Flash. This is the personal Grim Reaper of the Speedsters. At the end of a Speedster's life, it finally catches up to them and reunites them with the Speed Force. DCeased is functionally a repaint of the original DC Essentials Flash. It does have the monster hands we've seen from other figures in the line, and of course a grisly new head sculpt. The eyes are a bit cattywampus, but the gore's pretty good. I like the sprig of hair sticking out of the top, though admittedly I would have preferred an exposed brain or something like that. Admittedly, I would have liked some kind of exposed anything. Maybe some ribs. A skeletal arm with no meat left. Gaping holes in the thighs. Zombie cap. I pretty much just want every zombie figure to be zombie cap. That said, the blood pooling around the collarbone is pretty sweet, and if nothing else, the costume is at least nice and dirty. Dark Flash, on the other hand, seems to be a 100% new sculpt. From the top, and this is what I'm talking about. The exposed nose, the gaping maw, the cadaver purple. Moving on down, and his logo points the other direction, more like Reverse Flash. And of course, since it's McFarlane, there's a lot of little extra panel lines and textures in the suit. Dark Flash wears short sleeves, which expose that same lividity lavender. They have been cast in a black plastic and dry brush purple to give him a nice layered look. He's got his own bony, craggy hands reaching for you, and some more gold that really pops. Naturally, this Flash doesn't skip leg day, but I will say that his feet do seem kinda tiny. Leastways compared to DC's Flash. That said, Dark Flash has peg holes, so I think we know which one wins that foot race. And as happy as I am to continue my DC's collection, I have to admit there isn't much to this guy. The all-new sculpt and proportions are simply more visually interesting. For presentation, this round goes to Dark Flash. Moving on to posability, and while there are some similarities, there are also some very notable differences. Both figures have heads on dumbbell joints. DC Essentials, however, has extra grooves in the front and back. As such, the range absolutely cannot be beat. I really wish that McFarlane would incorporate something similar to that to DC Multiverse. Looking down and yeah, no contest. DC Essentials unfortunately doesn't really get a lot of tilt. DC Multiverse has that in spades. Definitely helps him look extra creepy, but both figures can look all the way around. Moving on down, and both figures have swivel hinge shoulders. Dark Flash can raise his arm up 90 degrees, and DC Essentials can't even do that. And Dark Flash also has this rotator cuff giving him front and back. That said, both figures have bicep swivel and double jointed elbows. Traveling down the arm, however, and DCeased has swivel hinge wrists, and Dark Flash has a new and improved McFarlane wrist balls. They can hinge up this much and down this much, but the wrist ball allows him to also hinge side to side, shifting the torsos, and that's the biggest difference between the two. DC Essentials has an ab crunch and a waist swivel. DC Multiverse has a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist. The figures can arch back this far, which I would say is equally impressive, and they can hunch forward this far, which is also about the same. For DC Multiverse, that's actually really good. He also has the added bonus of being able to tilt and twist. That said, Barry can also twist as well. Below the belt, and Barry has ball jointed hips. They can kick forward 90 degrees and do a perfect split. Dark Flash, however, however, has McFarlane hips. They're like ball joints, but with some extra gears. He can kick forward about 90 degrees, and he can also do a near-perfect split. The McFarlane hips do allow for a small amount of twist, but DC Essentials has thigh cut. That said, both figures do have double-jointed knees, as well as ankle balls that can swivel, hinge, and pivot. DCeased, however, has some boot cut rotation, and Dark Flash has toe ticulation. While I do appreciate the added neck range and thigh cut from the DC Essentials figure, the added shoulder, wrist, and diaphragm articulation of the DC Multiverse really won me over. For Posability, this round goes to Dark Flash. Moving on to Playability, and Dark Flash has a trading card and a figure stand. Pause here if you want to learn more about the Speedster Reaper. He also has some clip-on lightning effects. I gotta admit, I really do appreciate all the different lightning effects that McFarlane gives its Flash figures. DCeased, however, comes with a whole lot of nothing. Does that mean that Dark Flash is the clear winner of Playability? Yes, but that doesn't mean I don't have my qualms. Remember this head I like so much? It's actually one of 3 different head options. Just like with those Robin Crows from back in the day, you've got to hunt down each of them for yourself. But unlike Crow Robin, you can't even order this one online. You have to find it in the store, making it extra difficult. My Walmart only had this one in stock, which is good because this is the one I wanted. But if you want all 3, it's going to be extra difficult. And that's on top of it just being difficult because it's gold label. If I had to have a hard to find figure, I would have at least liked to have had the 3 different head options. As for why they didn't do it that way, that's a conversation for price. But Playability is more than just telegraphing the winner halfway through the category. It's also about how well your figures play with others. Here we have Superpowers from 1984. Here we have the 1990 DC Comics superhero version by Toy Biz. Total Justice by Kenner. A 2003 DC Direct figure I got at New York Comic Con. More on him in my upcoming haul video. DC Universe Classics by Mattel. The OG DC Essentials Flash, still my favorite. The DC Multiverse Rebirth version. Spin Master Heroes Unite. Someone whose career is definitely going to be going with Dark Flash. The person who should replace them. And the all-new Superpowers by McFarlane. For the other DCeased figures in my collection, here we have Superman. Here we have Batman. Here we have Aquaman. Hal Jordan Green Lantern. And the Joker. For some undead heroes from the House of Ideas, and here we have the bootleg Marvel Select Colonel America. Here's the bootleg Marvel Zombie Spider-Man. And here they are with bootleg Zombie Hulk. And then scaling down to 6 inches, and here's the Marvel Legends Disney What If Zombie Captain America. For some other Flash-related characters, and here we have Wallace West, also known as Kid Flash. Here we have the DC Multiverse Reverse Flash. Try saying that 3 times fast. DC Multiverse Reverse Flash, DC Multiverse Reverse Flash, DC Multiverse Reverse Flash. Alright, maybe it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. Here we have Godspeed, and the Injustice 2 Gorilla Grodd. For some non-zombified versions of the Justice League, and here we have DC Essentials Superman, DC Multiverse Action Comics 1000 Superman, and Angry Laser Eyes Hush Superman. For Batman, and here we have Rebirth by DC Essentials. Here's Rebirth from DC Multiverse, and the fan favorite Batman from the 3 Jokers. For some Wonder Women, and here we have New 52 by DC Collectibles. Here we have DC Icons. It's a bit small because she's technically a 6-inch scale. Here we have DC Essentials. Really hoping we get a DCeased version of her to complete our Zombie Justice League. Or, you know, just a DC Multiverse version. And speaking of DC Multiverse, here's one of the many versions of Wonder Woman they've made that is not the regular version. Here we have DC Essentials Aquaman, as well as DC Rebirth. And then lastly, here we have the DC Essentials Green Lantern, and the one by McFarlane Toys. For a relative scale comparison, here they are with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here they are with Stealth Iron Man. I mean it when I say this is a nice little collection, and I do hope they finish it out with Wonder Woman. That said, whereas the zombie version of Flash is a fun little addition, Dark Flash is a character from the comic and therefore does feel a bit more necessary for your collection. For Playability, this round goes to Dark Flash. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. And both figures were manufactured by McFarlane Toys, so either way, they win. DCeased was released under the DC Direct brand and retailed for $29.99, but I got mine on clearance at GameStop for only $11. Dark Flash, however, is a Walmart exclusive and retails for about $20, unless of course you want all 3 versions. If you want all 3 head options, that's going to set you back $60, and that's assuming that you're going to be able to find all 3 in stores and not have to go to the aftermarket. And if the Robin Crows are any indication, all 3 will probably end up as a box set sooner or later anyway. If all you want is one, this is definitely the way to go. Even so, for price, this round goes to DCeased, but the race goes to Dark Flash 3-2. After all, you can't outrun death. For more DCeased, check out this video on Superman, or this one on Batman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and the Joker. If you're planning on getting Dark Flash, do you want all 3 or just one? Sound off in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice, have fun, and stay spooky.